Welcome to Identity Unboxed, where we provide mentorship and promote representation for Black professionals in the advancement of the Black community.
We are seeking guidance from exceptional Black leaders, scholars, and professionals with expertise in their respective fields.
We hope to foster a space that promotes authenticity, inclusivity, and restoration for our listeners while exploring the intersection of our personal and professional lives.
This project is a culmination of our lived experiences as young Black professionals to transform our life trajectories, to overcome adversity, and reach triumph.
Our intention is to inspire you on your path to discovering your purpose.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning into today's bonus episode, A Drag Queen's Road to the Crown. We are here with the one and only Bob the Drag Queen. Caldwell Tidicue, better known by his name Bob the Drag Queen, is an American drag queen, comedian, actor, activist, musician, author, and reality TV personality. He is best known for winning the 8th season of RuPaul's Drag Race and recently released his New York Times best-selling book, Harriet Tubman, live in concert on March 25th, 2025. Thank you so much for being here with us, Bob. We really appreciate it. I know when we were, off recording, we expressed gratitude, but we know you're busy and are just really grateful that you took the time to sit with us today.
Well, I'm happy to be here. And, Brett, I was following you online back in the day. So I'm familiar with your stuff. And then I started looking up the podcast, and I'm happy to be here. It's a real treat.
Thank you so much. Oh my God, the COVID days. TikTok COVID
days. Yeah, I feel like your TikTok has changed a lot these days. You're doing.
He's evolved quite a bit over the years. He has some new characters now. Back then, it was just anything went, in COVID. So.
I'm just I'm not really focused on it. People are like, you should actually stick to it. And I just kind of post whatever I want and not anything at all. I'm just kind of, In COVID, I was trying to survive. So I was just doing something, but I'm really introverted. So I don't like putting myself out there like that. So now that COVID's over, I'm focused on real life again and not,
Weren't you doing those Christian Walker videos? I didn't make that up.
Yes.
That's correct. That was Brad with the contacts. He'd have the blue contacts.
I ended up doing the whole video, a whole podcast with Christian Walker, a whole thing where he and I did a chat. I said, what's wrong with you?
No way. I'm gonna listen to that. I'm gonna look it up.
It was honestly pretty wild. I'm not gonna lie. It was actually really wild.
Yeah, that's so interesting.
He's also pivoted.
Yeah. I don't go on TikTok a lot, but I do love the comedy, so.
We're all evolving, aren't we?
Exactly.
I've seen his new content, and it's actually pretty amazing. I'm to a degree, because I'll be crying over a man, and he'll pop up and be like, why are you crying over a man? And I'm like, you know what? I needed to hear that. So shout out to him.
I sat down with him and I told him, I said, you're not gonna be Republican forever. And he was like, I'm always gonna be Republican. And I was like, you're not. I'm telling you, one day it's gonna change. Cut to. I'm not saying I'm a soothsayer. I'm not saying I'm a psychic, but I'm just saying.
I think you clocked it, because we see the change.
Hopefully he listens to this episode with us. So
we'll tag him. Someone tag him. I don't know. Someone said it.
There we go.
We'll tag him. Beef aside, nothing bad to say. Wish you well. What's done is done.
Fight her.
Woo! I have to get in the ring. No, I'm kidding.
Do you think you can take Christian Walker?
I'm not the fighting type, but I have to get really angry.
I'm not the fight. I don't know what would have to happen for me to. I would have to feel like I was really in danger to want to fight somebody. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ, fighting. What am I? A straight man?
Exactly.
With my hands? Are you crazy?
What was that video? I really related to it. Megan Thee Stallion, I don't remember what interview it was, but she was like, I don't fight. Do I look like fighting? Am I going to mess up these nails? Megan Thee Stallion looks like she could really beat someone up, but she's like, I'm not fighting nobody. So that's what it's giving. It's giving if she really wanted to, she could, but she ain't got time for that. So
yeah, probably the best course of action.
Exactly. All right. Well, with all that being said, we can get into our first question. So you were born in Columbus, Georgia, and later went on to study theater at Columbus State University. You moved to New York City with just $500 to your name and no connections as you identified your next step. And we were wondering if you could tell us what inspired you to study theater and how you built up the courage to move to New York City without a solid foundation.
Well, so I wanted to study theater. When I was in high school, obviously people don't really know what they want to do for a living when they're in high school. I mean, some people do. Some people actually know. Some people are like, I knew I wanted to be president when I was a kid. And some people are like, I knew I wanted to be a poet when I was a baby. I loved entertaining and I love crowds, but I went to the theater program Miss Baker, Kathy Baker. Shout out to Kathy Baker if you're out there. And I just fell in love with theater. I was like, this is so amazing. And I love that she was my drama teacher. And I kind of remember thinking, I want to be a drama teacher. I actually went to school for theater education. I went to school to be a drama teacher, but I dropped out of college, so I can't be a drama teacher because you have to have a teaching certificate or something to be a teacher. And I did not make it that far. And then I decided to move to New York City because I wanted to be a Broadway star. And I tried for a really long time to get on Broadway. It didn't work out. I mean, I finally made it. Actually, I'll be on Broadway in January, ironically. But you know, I guess in my mind, $500 wasn't a strong foundation, but it wasn't nothing. You know what I mean? I was like, to me, that was a lot of money. You know, especially in Columbus, Georgia, that was like 2 months' rent.
And also, what year was this? It was a while back, right?
Okay, not too much, yeah.
Not too much, but it's not 2025 prices, right?
Too much.
No, you're calling out his age, girl.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying the economy. It's shifted.
We're reading.
Within the last 5 years, things have drastically changed, Bob.
No, it was 2008.
Anyone can agree. Okay, okay,
yeah.
Okay, so yeah, 500 went a lot farther. I'm just saying.
It didn't go that far. I mean, it wasn't the 80s.
Right? I know.
Prehistoric. No, I'm kidding.
It was 2008, and I do not want to know how old either of you were back then. That does not interest me. But I was 22. I was 22 years old, and I just kind of thought to myself, I can't imagine not, like, why wouldn't I make it? Like, why wouldn't I succeed? Like, why wouldn't I? Like, why wouldn't I? That's kind of how I've been with everything. Like, I see something, I go, I could do that. Why couldn't I do that?
And that's a great mindset to have because a lot of people operate in fear. I know I'd be scared, so it's good that you were like, why not me? Don't let nothing stop you. And it's clear that you haven't because look where you're at now.
Well, I thought the worst could happen. I just moved back home to Columbus, Georgia. You know, I'd be like, I'll just go back to Columbus and, you know, live my life over there. So obviously I'm really happy that I made that choice. I mean, it's a big part of who I am today. Yeah, I'm really happy that I did that. Yeah.
That's amazing. And it's really great to hear how you had the courage to take the leap. Like you said, you know, the worst that could happen is that you end up where you started, right? Like you could have just gone back and then figured out what's my next step. But it's really amazing also to hear about how you said you're making it onto Broadway now and you've taken this unconventional route to get there. And I think there's so much beauty in that because people think they have to follow this stringent road to get to where they want to go. And sometimes those detours are actually what lead you to that ultimate goal, even without realizing it. And moving forward just a little bit, your drag journey began in the summer of 2009, and we were hoping to hear a little bit more about the moment or experience that ignited that interest in you. I know you've mentioned that, you know, you were always a performer, that you're really interested in theater, and so I could see how, you know, performing in drag, that really leads well into that. But how did that, I guess, initial interest kind of transform into a lasting passion for you?
I mean, the main moment was that I just saw season 1, episode 1 of RuPaul's Drag Race. I was flipping through TiVo, back when people were using TiVo, and I saw that RuPaul had a TV show. I said, oh my God, RuPaul has a show. That sounds so cool. Let's see what RuPaul's show is. And I remember recording it or setting it to record. And when I got home from work, I would watch the show. And I got home from work and I was like, oh, the show's so fun. And literally, season 1, episode 1, I was like, I could do that. I could do that. I want to do that. I want to do something like this. So then I started going out to drag shows in New York City. And just experiencing what nightlife was. I just thought it was just so, I don't know, it was like I found this community in New York City, people who reminded me of myself. A lot of us were transplants, a lot of us were performers who hadn't gotten roles on Broadway, but we were still really good performers. And we had something to show, but we just didn't have anywhere to show it, you know? At least not a big platform to show it, so we would show each other, basically.
I love it. And I was wondering, like you mentioned, you found that community once you started to go out and get involved in drag in New York. And how did that kind of deepen your connection to your own identity or, you know, your Blackness and culture generally once you started kind of delving into that passion?
Well, that's an interesting question because, you know, I didn't really feel this need to like connect with my Blackness in some different way because I grew up in a very Black, I'm from Atlanta, so I went to Black schools. All my whole family's Black. There's like, I just have a very Black experience, so I wasn't like I gotta find, you know, No shade, no shade, but I feel like sometimes like light-skinned folks or mixed folks are like, I gotta find who I am as a black person.
Yeah, no,
I
100%.
don't know if y'all are mixed, but I know y'all light-skinned.
I am biracial. Yeah. And we grew up in a predominantly white town, so like we've spoken about it. And so I think that's so cool. Like that shows the diversity within the community too, where it's like you grew up in the Black Mecca. So to you, it's like being around Black people, that's normal. That's your everyday.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I did not grow up in a diverse community. You know, my community was pretty homogenous. It was just, I went to an all black, I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, from Clayton County. I'm from Columbus, Georgia. I live in Phoenix State, Alabama. Actually, in Phoenix State, I did live around a couple of white people. I remember the first time I ever lived around white people, I was like, these motherfuckers are crazy. Like, they are so racist. I remember being like, oh my God, this is a lot
So
to
true.
reckon with as a third grader. Like, this is what I saw special about this on TV. I saw Steve Urkel and you know, Laura Winslow talk about this on Family Matters, but I didn't know people were actually really like this. This is crazy. So when I got to New York City, there was no like, I need to find my, you know, blackness. But I did find a lot of my queerness there because I did not grow up in, I mean, I was a theater major, so there were gays. There were gays there. So it's not like there were no gays around me. I even had a lot of gay friends in Columbus, Georgia too. But New York City was an interesting place for me to find out who I was as an adult, especially as someone whose life wasn't partying. Like when I was in my my late teens and my 20, 21, 22, my life was just like partying and drinking and, you know, basically failing out of school. And then I moved to New York City and I stopped drinking and I wanted to just, I don't know. It's not that I wanted to figure out who I was as an adult, but it was definitely the time I did. I was in my early 20s, so I was like, I guess it's time to form my moral compass as an adult.
That's amazing. So it seems like you really evolved from that time and kind of taking that leap to New York City with not a lot of resources or connections, probably tried to, or kind of forced you to get your head on a swivel in a way, because you really had to kind of take that step of independence, huh?
Well, I had more money than connections, and I only had $500. I knew one person in New York City. I moved to New York City, and he was a guy that I worked with doing children's theater from this like summer stock theater, basically. It's not quite summer stock, but it was like a summer contract for children's theater. And I remember I met him in Minneapolis working on a gig back when I was like, you know, doing that kind of acting. And then I remember him telling me like, when I moved to New York City, what did he say? When I moved to New York City, my roommate kicked me out after one week. And I would never do that to you. I want you to come here. I want you to get your feet on the ground. And I moved to New York City, and he held true to that. He did not kick me out after 1 week. He kicked me out after 3 days. I slept on his couch for 3 days, and he was like, "You need to leave. You cannot."
That is so like frightening. Were you afraid at the time? Like, oh my gosh, what do I do?
Yeah, I
need housing.
I got on my BlackBerry. I logged into Craigslist, and I found a place to stay. He kicked me out because I remember him asking me like, how much money do you have? Before you get here, how much money do you have? And I said, I have $1,100, which when I said that was true. To be
At
clear.
the time, before you took the flight over.
Before I ate every single day.
Yeah.
And got there and paid for a cab from LaGuardia to Queens and then, you know, lived my life and probably bought luggage and yada, yada, yada. So by the time I landed, I had like $500. I think it might have actually been like $700. And then that $200 went away really quick because I spent it all on resumes. I had to go print resumes. It cost me like $60 or $80 to print resumes. And then I ate every day to live. And then pretty quickly it was down to like, I think when he kicked me out, I think I might have had like $400 or maybe $300 to my name, maybe. Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit more about how you like found the courage to stay in that moment and what was going through your mind when all that happened? Because honestly, knowing me, I would have flown back that day. I would have been like, oh, hell no. And I would have came back. Like you said, you could always go back to Columbus. So it's amazing that you stayed.
Well, I remember thinking, I haven't really given it a shot. I haven't even been here a week yet. And I just want to like make it work. So I just did what the next thing I could do, which is get on Craigslist and find a place. I found this woman named Sharifa. I still remember Sharifa. She was an Indonesian lady. Her nickname was Poppy. But I realized that she was actually saying puppy. She just had an Indonesian accent. She goes, my family calls me puppy because I'm chunky like a puppy. And anyway, Poppy would Popey would like she let me live in her I lived in her living room. She had like a gated off part of her living room that was I slept behind this wall in Popey's living room. But Popey cooked every day. She was an amazing cook. And then I got a job for this company called Dialogue Direct. They're the kind of people who like on the street, they're like, hey, do you want to support kids? Do you want to sign up to sponsor a child? I did the job for 2 weeks. I got fired from that job. I was so bad at it. I got one person to sign up in 2 weeks after that job. And on the day I got someone to sign up, I got fired that day actually. And I was like, I get it. In fact, I remember the lady I got to sign up. She was just this random lady on the street. And I remember asking her, like, will you sign up to sponsor these kids? And she just cut me off before I can get my spiel. She goes, I'll sign up for it. You don't have to pitch to me. I'll sign up, but only under one condition. I was like, I don't do anything. I just want you to, I haven't had anyone in 2 weeks. And she goes, you got to quit this job. She was like, there's something about you. You shouldn't be doing this. You need to quit this job. If you quit this job, I'll sign. If you promise me that you'll quit this job, I will sign up. And I promised her. I had no intention of quitting, by the way. And then I got fired. Like when I got back to the office to give my report, I was like, I got someone. They were like, great, you're fired. And I was like, God damn, that's crazy.
Well, that was meant to be. It sounds like maybe your fate was leading you somewhere else and you could have kept yourself. Well, you were fired. So I guess you would have kept yourself in that position, but you could have gone to, another job similar and just been like, I'm going to make this work because I need to pay bills. But instead it's like you pursued your dream.
Well, not immediately. I mean, I was pursuing
not immediately.
I was pursuing my dream the whole time. I wish I could say, and then I hit it big. And
then I went to RuPaul's Drag Race.
No, that was 7 years later.
Okay.
After I got fired from this job. Because bear in mind, at this point, I have been in New York City for 2 weeks.
For 2 weeks. Okay. Yeah.
So then I remember, because I was living in Sharifa's living room, and I remember like going through Facebook and like looking at all my friends we were all trying to be actors. And one of my friends was in a play in New York City. Her name was Blair White. Blair is now a teacher in like Oklahoma, I want to say. And Blair was in a play. And I reached out to Blair and I said, Blair, I cannot, like, that's so good for you. Congratulations. Like, I can't believe it's happening for some of us. Like, you're in a play in New York City. That's so cool. I have to leave. I think I have to move home because I got fired from my job. My phone got cut off because I couldn't afford to pay my bill. And I was on the Wi-Fi using my BlackBerry, and also my apartment is foreclosing. Like my landlord, I think he's not paying his mortgage, so my apartment is foreclosing. So I don't know where I'm gonna go. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I think I might go home. And she was like, before you go home, come down to my job and interview, and I'll see if I can get you a job as a waiter or a bartender at this restaurant. And I went down and interviewed at a restaurant called the Jekyll and Hyde Club on 57th and 6th. And I worked there for like 3 years. And that was the job that actually like kept me afloat while I did drag. That's where I was when I discovered drag.
Wow. It seems like your story is one of so much resilience. And I think it's really important for people to hear because when you're pursuing your dreams or you're trying to get up off your feet, it can seem like the world is just crashing down on you. And I feel like a lot of people would have broken your situation and just went back home early. But you said you were there for 7 years before you went on RuPaul's Drag Race, and you ended up winning the 8th season. And we were wondering if you could take us back to that experience and how it impacted your personal and professional trajectory.
Well, yes, I will do that. But I want to say real quick, though, like, yeah, I was struggling, but it didn't really feel like, it doesn't feel like I was like, I'm persevering and pushing through. It just felt like, well, I want to stay here. I have to stay here. I have to stay in New York City. So I'm just going to figure out like a way to do it. So I feel like there are people who have like stories of actual triumph, who are like going through domestic abuse and they're living in war zones and they're battling, disease. I was just like a really young person who could physically afford to struggle. You know what I mean? And I was like, in my mind, I was like, well, I'm 22. I'm supposed to be struggling. This is like what you do.
Yeah, you were in your early 20s too. And so it's like you had that grit in you. It's like, what are you going to do? Just give up? After you literally made the leap to go there, you're not just going to turn around and go back home. It's like, I made it this far. Let me try it out.
I was like, I'm going to make New York City throw me out by the nape of my neck. Like, I'm not going to go without a fight. So, yes, there was some struggle, but I guess I view it a little differently because, if I wrote the book, which I don't ever plan to do, but if I wrote the book, this part wouldn't even be that dramatic. because I don't think it's that great of a story. It's not like I don't know. There are people like you ever watched What's Love Got to Do with the Tina Turner movie with Angela Bassett?
I haven't.
He's like, I mean, in domestic abuse
Wow.
and drug, like her partner's on drugs, and
Wow.
they're trying to steal her name and her music and her livelihood and her children. And I was just
Oh my
like, I'm
gosh.
hungry.
Yeah, you're like, I'm a single person. I'm a 22. I don't have kids. Like, I'll be
Right?
okay. I'll make it.
But to answer your question about Drag Race, I mean, I did drag in New York City for several years before I won that show. So my goal was getting on Drag Race was a goal of mine, but it's not why I was doing drag. I just really loved it. I just love dressing up. I love the camaraderie. I love the community that being a drag queen in New York City brings. I love the friends I was making. I love the fact that I got the opportunity to just be so creative, and I could afford to live. Like I was working, and I had other jobs. I had other jobs at the same time, but like I just loved that I was like working, being creative, and feeding myself. That was really all I ever wanted, to be honest.
I really love that because it shows that, sometimes we chase our passions and we're so driven for the success, but it seems like you just love doing it. You love the environment, you love the people, you love the culture. And because it was so effortless and natural and you just enjoyed it, it blossomed into something way bigger. Because a lot of people chase things that maybe they aren't meant for, they chase it for the wrong reasons, and it doesn't always work out. But it seems like for you, it was something that you genuinely loved, and now look what it's turned into.
As they say on those deep podcasts, don't chase your passions, passion your chase. I don't know. I don't think
There we go. I haven't heard that
No,
one,
what
but it
was
works.
it? Don't love your job, job your love,
your
or whatever
love.
she
Yeah,
said.
just flip the words
Sure.
around. Don't chase your passion, passion your chase, honey.
I love it. Just reverse it. That makes
Exactly.
sense. But could you take us like to the actual time that you were on the show, and like what was that experience like immersing yourself in it? Because I've watched RuPaul's Drag Race. I love it, seeing like the outfits and the hair and the makeup and the glitz and the glam. But like, what is it like to be in the experience? Like, were you stressed? Like the competition? Did you like have camaraderie amongst the other contestants, or how was that?
Yeah, I got along pretty well with mostly everybody. I mean, I got on some people's nerves, and you can see that on TV.
Right, okay.
They don't hold their tongues about it. But I was not stressed. First of all, I really love stress. I do really well under pressure. Some of my best work is under pressure, to be honest. And I also was really confident. Like I never thought I was going to lose, so I wasn't really under any real stress. I was like, well, bitch, I'm going to win. So like, I'm just here to have fun. I was having the time of my life. Like I remember recording it, but not thinking to myself, I'm making great TV. I was just like, I'm just really being myself. I'm really having fun. I'm doing a good job. I feel great. I look great. I just felt really lucky. I felt really, really lucky to be able to be on TV. It was kind of gaggy that I was on TV. You know what I mean? But once I got over those little jitters or that initial excitement, I was just there to engage and do what they asked us to do.
I love that so much, and I love the mindset you have. You said, bitch, I'm in here and I'm gonna win, and it is what it is. I'm coming and being my authentic self, and it worked. And I was wondering, I wanted to ask, like, how
It
did
doesn't
you
always
build that?
work.
It doesn't. What did Rihanna say? She said, if you don't feel confident, just pretend,
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
exactly.
Don't feel confident. Confident your feel. I mean, I was like, I've done a lot of stuff that I was like, I'm gonna eat, and I didn't eat, and I was like, it doesn't matter.
But when you were in New York City, you did eat. Even when you didn't think you would be able to, you ate, literally.
I ate and I swallowed.
Exactly.
There you go.
Clock it.
That-
I wanted to ask, like, how did you get your confidence to where it is today, where you can just walk into a room and be like, I mean, even if you don't, you're going to come in there with the mindset of, I'm going to eat this, I'm going to win this, because I know I've and a lot of other Black people in the queer community have experienced homophobia in our community and in society in general. So how did you like get to that point where you were able to embrace yourself and do drag and just love yourself and walk into any room and know that you were going to own it?
Well, one, I'm not really around straight people. Like, I don't really know any straight people, to be honest. Like, I'm trying to think about actual straight people that I know who are like close to me. My dad, my aunts, and I don't even talk to them every day. Like everyone I talk to on a daily basis is queer. Is anyone? I mean, my office manager's right here. I'm trying to think. I don't think there's anyone in my life who's like straight, to be honest. So I'm never second guessing that because I don't really hang out with straight people. Not out of design, just like, what do we, I mean, I don't
It's
know.
just, I guess the interests aren't aligning in the way that you'd like them to.
The places I am are just queer places. Like,
There you go.
there ain't no straight people there. You know what I mean?
Was that consistent for you growing up in Georgia as well? I mean, growing up in like the deep south. Yeah.
We allow straight people in Georgia, even in Atlanta. Even in Atlanta, we allow straight people. Like, not that many. It's Atlanta. Come on. We don't allow a lot of straight people in Atlanta. But that was just me and my. So by the time I got to RuPaul's Drag Race, everyone I was around was queer by that point. That was by the time I got to Drag Race. Yeah.
So it sounds like you just embedded yourself around people that you could relate to and that you had that shared experience. And so that's probably lended to you feeling belonging in your life. It doesn't seem like you have had experience of isolation in your like day to day because you found people that you can kind of resonate with and how you exist in the world.
Yeah, and it wasn't intentional. I think I was I worked in Gay Barz, so there were just gay people. Right. You know what I mean?
You're just naturally.
So it wasn't like a conscious choice that I made. Yeah. I just happened to everyone I know is queer.
I love that. Yeah. Great. Well, yeah, that like really leads well into our next question because I know New York is a monumental piece of history, especially when it comes to advancing LGBTQ plus progress, particularly with Marsha P. Johnson and the Stonewall riots. And you've carried that legacy on. In 2010, you took action alongside your friends to hold weekly demonstrations in Times Square called Drag Queen Weddings for Equality. Protests were held every Saturday until there was marriage equality in New York State. At one point, you were arrested for blocking traffic at Bryant Park and taken to jail in full drag. Can you share more about this experience and speak to the importance of civic engagement for the queer community given the current political climate in our country?
Yeah, so in like 2010, I want to say, me and my friends, Frosty Flakes and Azrea, who were drag queens, we were just sitting around and just kind of getting angry about inequalities that we have as queer people, thinking about ACT UP, and then we joined this group called, well, I can't remember which came first. I believe I remember being like, we should do something. We should do a demonstration. We should go to Times Square every Saturday from noon to 4, and we should do our drag queen weddings where 2 drag queens get married by a drag queen priest, basically. And for our vows, we would talk about inequalities in the queer, that the queer community has in comparison to our, heterosexual cisgender counterparts. And we just were like, I don't know. We just vowed to do it until there was marriage equality in New York State, which we did. We did our last one the Saturday after marriage equality passed. And then I joined this group called Queer Rising, and that's how I got arrested in Bryant Park. They offered us an opportunity to do some political unrest activism, and they were like, you're going to get arrested, and you can dress however you want. And I said, well, I'm going to get dressed in drag, heels and everything.
You better look good while you're getting arrested. They're going to take photos.
I like it.
My mugshot is actually, it's called a field mugshot. If you Google it, I look stunning.
I'm sure you do. I'm going to look it up.
No, I was gonna ask that. I was like, I want to see the mugshot because I know you
right now. You can. It's on it. Just Google Bob the Drag Queen arrest. I look beautiful. I genuinely look amazing. Like,
can we use that in our marketing?
Of course, of course.
Oh my god, I love that. I'm about to Google.
Yeah, I look really beautiful. Bob the Drag Queen arrested or something like that.
I'm looking it up right now. Oh wow.
Yeah, I look beautiful.
You look amazing.
Yeah, quite stunning.
Stunning. We're not surprised.
I'm sorry.
We're not surprised at all.
This needs to be in a history book somewhere. In like 2200, we need to see this photo right here. This needs to be somewhere. Who do I talk to get this in a history book? That is iconic.
I don't know. Maybe
someone
will do the work. But yeah, I love this. I love this photo. I see someone has reposted on X. It just says, imagine arresting Bob the Drag Queen.
They never forgot that day. They never did.
Imagine arresting Bob the Drag Queen is such a funny.
I love it.
That is so, I mean, it's very noble, but hilarious. How long were you in jail?
Maybe 4 hours, maybe.
Oh, it's pretty short. You didn't have to even spend the night.
No, I didn't spend the night, no. But I was prepared to. I had a bagel under my wig.
Okay.
And my breasts were made of almonds. I had Cliff Bars under my hip pads.
Oh, you were ready to go. You were stout. You were stoked up.
That is all true.
Wow.
Did they make
I
you
love
take the? Did they make you take it all off once you got to jail, or were you sitting in your cell and
I
drag?
was sitting in my cell, and so they did field mugshots because we told the cops we were going to be there, so they would arrest us, right? So, civil disobedience, it's actually a real art form to it and great technique. So in order to get maximum visibility, we had to let the press and the cops know that we're going to be there so that people will come by and see so they can get their photos and their videos. And so they basically processed us in the police wagons on the way there. So we got there, we just went straight to I think we had to sign something and maybe put our fingerprints down, I think. This was like 18 years ago at this point. No, that's not true. 15 years ago. So I just, we got booked real quick, and then they just did our paperwork and let us out.
Yeah, they didn't want to go to all the extra trouble. The paperwork and doing the strip search, they're not doing all that.
Yeah, I mean, they did the paperwork, but they did it all in tow because we kind of worked with them, let them know that we were doing it, yeah.
Right. Wow, that's monumental. I mean, like, what would you say was your maybe, like, biggest takeaway from that experience? I mean, it sounds like this was something that you just cared about because it's your livelihood. Like, it's literally, your community. But, like, did you have, I guess, like, a major takeaway from that's like impacted you now?
Yeah, I mean, it gave me a real sense of how to build community. I mean, I don't want to sound flippant, but I mean, it was an energy rush, and it was fun, and it was exciting. And I remember getting in the back of the police wagon, and we were all crying, like we were in the streets, like screaming, like yelling, like what was our chant we used to do? We would chant "I am," and then everyone yells "I am," and someone goes "somebody," and everyone yells "somebody," and it goes "I deserve," and go "I deserve equality, equality." And I just remember like the passion of like screaming at the cops, and the cops having the megaphone, like yelling, reading us our Miranda rights and giving us our warning, and the traffic honking behind us. And then we got in the car, and we just like started like bawling. It was such an adrenaline rush. I didn't know it would be like, because I had never been arrested before. That's not true. That's not true.
Hey, we don't have to go into those ones. We'll only go into the positive.
That was not my first time getting arrested. I got arrested in middle school once, actually.
Oh,
that was not for activism.
Hey, that's okay. You were arrested for good, though. They arrested MLK like 35 times. So
I mean, in seventh grade, it wasn't for good, but yes,
middle school was preparation, just in case.
There we go. You were an early activist in the making. You don't even know it yet.
There it is.
I love that. Well, it seems like even from reading your book, the importance of standing up for our rights, fighting the good fight, and that's why I feel like you made it in the lens of Harriet Tubman. And this year you released your book, Harriet Tubman Live in Concert, a fictional novel that blends history, music, spirituality, queer identity, and explores themes of liberation, trauma, healing, and creativity through a bold imaginative mix of Harriet Tubman's legacy. And we were wondering if you could share what inspired you to write this book, and was it influenced by your professional journey or your personal journey?
Well, the book, Mary. Sorry, I'm trying to tell my office. I was not communicating effectively.
Love it.
It's my book, Harriet Tubman Live in Concert.
You have it right there. Physical
Yes,
copy.
I love this book. I'm so proud of this book. I was inspired to write it because I've always just loved Harriet. Oh my God, not you with a copy.
I got the ebook. I promise.
Gang.
Yeah.
What inspired me to write this book? I remember just having this idea. I had an idea one day. If Harriet Tubman had an album, I would listen to it. So I actually started writing it as a musical. And then I got a book deal. And when I got the book deal, they were trying to get me to write like a autobiography or something, or a memoirs. And I was like, no, like I wouldn't read my memoir, so I wouldn't want to write it.
I would read it. I would, maybe you'll do it later on. You don't have to rule it out yet.
Says that, but I'm telling you, my memoir is not as exciting as you would think it is. Like
there's more to come. Don't say that.
And I would tell people, I'm not a modest person. I've never been accused of being modest once in my life. When I tell you my life is so much more like, it is like, what I'm doing is like, first of all, everything I do is in front of the camera. So my podcast, my stand-up comedy, I'm not doing drugs. I'm not going out. I'm not staying up late. I'm not in some crazy, relationship, these trials that I've had to overcome. I'm just like writing jokes, telling them, writing books, podcasting. Like,
I love that.
People are like, but you met Madonna. I'm like, yeah, we weren't doing coke in the bathroom. We were rehearsing a song and dancing.
Yeah.
Like the book would be like, and then we did 5, 6, 7, 8. And then I went
It
back
could
to
be
my
like
hotel room and
self-help,
played
like a
Smash.
discipline. A disciplined book. It sounds like, you have a routine, you've stuck to it. Maybe you could give people some tips.
I don't even have that much discipline. I was playing League of Legends like before my last thing, like in my office on office hours playing League of Legends. Like I don't know.
I love it.
I know that my autobiography it just wouldn't be that interesting, so I didn't want to write it. I was like, I'm not writing that because there are some people out there who have really good stories they need to be telling. Like really good stories.
I love autobiographies. It's like the number one type of work that I read regularly. Viola Davis's is my favorite. Love it.
Is a hard.
She's a legend.
It's a hard. That lady went through. See, that lady went through some stuff. She's living in the house. The whole building caught on fire. They don't have electricity.
Oh, wow.
There's rats everywhere.
Roaches.
I'm like, roaches in the cereal. Like I don't have that kind of life. That was not my experience. Right. So I'm like, what am I going to write? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like you might be sleeping on your experience though, because I know in that 7 years when you moved in, got kicked out in 3 days, were looking for work, looking on your BlackBerry, going through Craigslist saying, where am I going to stay? I feel like that story can help someone. I feel like to some people that could be very like, wow. To you were just living it, so you probably weren't thinking about it too much. But for someone else, I feel like that would really help them. So
maybe. Like I was thinking about Jeanette McCurdy's book, I'm Glad My Mom's Dead.
It was really good.
It's crazy. Like that stuff is crazy.
It is though. Yeah.
Are living
like serious trauma.
Crazy lives.
Yeah.
And it's just not.
You're like, I have lived like a pretty typical life for the most part. Like in
I'm not
daily
built
day.
different. I'm not built. I'm a
You
standard,
are. You are.
I'm telling you, I am a standard model. That's why I tell folks, if I can do it, you can fucking do it. I'm not that special. I'm really not that fucking special. If I can do it, you can fucking do it. That's how I look at people doing stuff and I go, if you could do it, I could do it.
Yeah.
That's literally how I look at stuff. If you could do it,
you don't put people on a pedestal. I love that. It sounds like, you believe not only in yourself, but in others. Like if you have the potential, then you can achieve it.
Yeah. I ultimately, I'm a people person. I like people. I believe in people. I am ultimately someone who like really believes in people.
I love that.
Yeah.
That doesn't just come from anywhere though. It sounds like you have a belief in humanity. You see the good.
But I'm also a little bit of a nihilist.
Really?
A little bit. I'm a little bit like it is what it is. You know what I mean? Because like
that's kind of hard not to be these days.
One day the sun's going to explode and it's all going to be gone and nothing will matter. Like one day the sun's going to literally eat the earth. I mean, it's going to be billions of years away, but like then what? Like what was it all for?
Yeah, we can't control it.
Like what legacy are you leaving behind when there's nothing? When the very ground you're standing on is gone? Yeah.
We live, we die, and that's really just that. That's what I've been telling myself lately. Like, is it really
took a dark turn?
If you really, it's like, it's dark, but at the same time, I feel like it's beautiful because I'd be so nervous and shy about things. But then I think about it and I'm like,
it's really grounding.
I'm going to be in the, literally grounding. I'm going to be in the dirt one day. Like, it's very grounded, literally. And so, life, just live. Kumbaya.
Don't be too stressed. Yeah.
I find it really relieving to know that everyone who doesn't like me is going to be dead one day.
Yeah.
Everyone who doesn't like me, they're all going to be dead one day. And then their opinions will fade away.
Yeah. There you go.
But also, everyone that likes me is going to be dead one day too. So I can't put too much stock in like, I love you. I'm like, well,
and
one day that love's going to, one day I'm going to get cocoed. You know what I mean? The last person that remembers me is going to fade away one day. Then what?
Right.
Well, what I will say is I feel like it's a yes and because I feel like in your book, I love the book, by the way. And I feel like what your book, I feel like what it exhibited throughout it, it kind of reminded me of Sinners in a way where it's like our stories live on through art, and I love how you put on a modern spin of Harriet Tubman's stories, the Freemans and everyone else who went through that experience. It's almost like through music, through writing, through drag, through everything that tells your story. And unfortunately, Bob, I feel like after you die, people are going to remember you. They're going to know who you are. They're going to see your mugshot in the history books. So you do have a little legacy. You do.
It will happen. People will remember. I think I'll have a longer legacy than most people. But I mean, I'm just trying to have fun while I'm here. I think to me, it matters why you're here. Like that does matter. Like I'm not saying nothing matters, but it doesn't matter forever. Are you into musicals?
Yeah, I like musicals. I haven't seen a lot, but I enjoy them.
How about you, Brad? You like musicals?
I haven't really gotten into them. The last musical I went to was probably like in first grade. What was it? James and the Giant Peach? Something like that.
James and the Giant Peach. Well, there's a musical called Avenue Q, and there's a lyric in it that honestly kind of changed how I think about everything. And it's a song called For Now. And it's basically like everything in life is only for now, you know? And there's a lyric that says, each time you smile, it'll only last a while. Life may be scary, but it's only temporary. Like, if life is tough, but you don't have to, on the plus side, you don't have to do it forever. You know?
I love that. Yeah, no, definitely. I feel like do what you can while you're here, but don't get too stressed out about, the little things.
When you get a chance, you should look up Mike Tyson talking about his legacy. It's really revelatory.
Okay.
I saw that. I saw that. Wait, he was interviewing.
Really?
What's that girl's name? She like goes all around and she does the interviews, and she's
like
younger.
Minaj. Yeah, she's
Oh,
famous people.
what is her name? I love her.
Jazzy. Yeah.
Jazzy something.
She's like,
I love her.
She's like, what's your legacy? He's like, nothing. Like, nothing.
Right. For a kid, that's a little like wild though.
No, it's good. It's okay. You know what's crazy? Tell your child everything you do will matter.
It matters,
everything from now until the end of time. It all matters and it has to be important.
It's consequential,
Every single decision. It's a ripple effect. It's a butterfly effect. You blink and a tornado happens across the ocean. Sometimes it doesn't matter.
Right. And that puts a lot of pressure on a young mind, a young impressionable mind.
You know what's good for a kid to hear? It's okay.
It's okay.
It's
Don't
okay.
worry about it.
You made a big mistake? Honestly, it's okay.
Just do better
next time. It really is okay.
Yeah, I think it's really not that deep. I think that's what it comes down to. I feel like a lot of times we're kind of conditioned to take everything so seriously, and I feel like really what you're getting at is it's not that deep. But
it's like everyone has to be a leader. You must be a leader. Everyone has. We can't all lead. Everyone's walking on the front. Everyone's on the front line. It's okay to be like some people just follow, and that's okay. Some people there are instances where I follow. There are instances where I lead. You don't have to be groundbreaking in everything you do. By the way, I notoriously derail interviews. So there's a chance we might not make it through all these questions.
No, it's okay. We do this. We do this with every person. We go an hour and a half. Yeah.
I did want to ask you, because speaking of just legacy and things like that, I feel like in your book, something hit me. And it was when Harriet was sharing the story about how the white man was trying to take her brother, and then her mother stood up to the white man and she got scared, but the white man kind of backed off. And then that's when Harriet realized like freedom was the only choice for her. And Darnell, he says, I think I'm starting to see it now. Now I understand why this seems like such a big moment. To realize that there is more than just one existence, that there is more to life than being someone's property. To realize that you are your own person, capable of your own actions, able to create your own dreams, and with them, your own world. These are things we don't consider if we were never enslaved. Things you don't bother to think about when you are born free. And so that really stuck with me, because I feel like sometimes we take our freedom and our ability to do things for granted, But I do feel like at the same time, sometimes we put some weight on it because we know that our ancestors didn't have the right to do the things that we do today. So how do you find that balance of knowing like, okay, none of this is really that serious, and also like I have the ability to chase my wildest dreams because of the people who were here before me who weren't able to?
Well, I mean, I went through a lot of survivor's guilt as just like a Black person and the descendant of chattel slavery. I think people like to make us believe that slavery was like really long ago, but it actually wasn't that long ago. It was like, what, 168, 170 years ago? That's two old people back to back.
Yeah, it's like less than 200 years, so it's unbelievable.
That's two Betty Whites in a row. You know what I mean? That's two old people. That's not that long. In fact, my great aunt, my grandmother, her uncle was a slave. I remember her telling a story about how her uncle was a slave. And I remember thinking to myself, that's crazy. My grandma's uncle was a slave. That's crazy. That's crazy to me. Because my grandma was born in like 1942, I want to say, 1940, 1942. And her uncle was born in 1860 or something. Maybe it might have been her great uncle or something. But what I'm getting at is it was someone she knew. She knew people who were slaves, which is crazy to me. Because for her, about 80 years when she was born, about 80 years had passed since the Emancipation Proclamation was signed. So this stuff is important to me, but that's because of my history and my lineage, you know what I mean? And I think about how lucky I am to be alive when I am right now. I mean, y'all, if y'all were born in the early 1800s, you would have to pretend to be white. That's what you'd have to do. You'd have to find a way to conk your hair and hide your skin, you know, maybe even lighten it even more, and find a way to navigate the world either as a white person or as a person of mixed race, which was just a black person when they find out you're just black. And depending on where you're living, I mean, my God, you know, Neil deGrasse Tyson said there's no time on earth that he'd rather live than now.
Yeah, I agree.
Time travel.
For black people, there's still not a lot of areas where we have freedom. You know, we're still working on getting justice for our community, and so yeah, I don't know another era I'd want to live in. At this point, we have the most rights we've ever had. So
just this one,
and we still don't have enough.
I wouldn't go back 2 weeks. I'm good with now.
No.
You know, I say that sometimes, but then I think about it and I'm like, sometimes I wish I could go back to a time before the colonizers, living in a little village, no technology, no phones. I'm just going to pick the strawberries and milk the cows, frolicking through the meadows.
So like before 1619, like
yeah,
way
because
back.
I'm sure times then were so simple. Like everything's so complicated now. So it's beautiful with technology, but also like I feel like we should just be sitting somewhere in the meadows, you know.
I mean, Brad, without colonizers, you would be a whole different person.
Exactly.
Well,
point made.
Person.
You know, maybe I should start thanking them for my existence. So
hey, we're here.
Let's spin it. Thanks, colonizers.
I love that. But yeah, moving into your own family legacy, in the book, you dedicate that to the memory of your late mother, Martha Caldwell. And can you just share any words of wisdom for those who are navigating loss, and then how you found the inner strength to continue pursuing life with vitality and gratitude now?
Yeah, you know, I'm in what I call the Dead Moms Club. I dedicated my book to my sweet, sweet mother. Right when you open up that page, it says, "In loving memory of Martha Caldwell." I had a really supportive mom. I will say, you know, when you are in the Dead Moms Club, your community finds you. When you're in the Dead Kids Club, your community finds you. Like, you just start to gravitate toward people you start noticing whose mom is dead. And I have a special over on my YouTube page called Dead Moms Comedy Club. And it's just all comedians whose moms have passed away. And we talk about our moms and we tell jokes about our moms. And I was really close to my mom, so I was really devastated by her passing. You know, no McCurdy. I was very devastated by my mom's passing. You were not glad. I was not glad. I was really destroyed about it, actually. But I don't know. I just, I mean, I don't know that I have great advice, 'cause I don't know that I'm not healed. I don't know that you ever heal from that, to be honest. I think it's just, or at least not for me. I mean, it's been a little over a year, not quite 2 years yet. So, you know, it sucks every day. It's so lame. It's really not fun to, you know, for me anyway, to have a dead mom. It's like my least favorite thing, to be honest. It is like my least favorite thing of all time.
It's devastating, and I feel like things like that, a lot of people don't heal. Sometimes you have to get used to it. That's kind of what it is. It's not healing. It's just learning to cope with the fact that someone you love is no longer with you.
Yeah, time does not heal all wounds. That saying is actually kind of bullshit. Sometimes you run out of time before you're healed.
Yeah, I really appreciate how transparent you are, because I feel like many people will kind of sugarcoat their experience, and I appreciate that you're very candid in the fact that, like, you're existing with this hole now in your life with someone that you loved and who literally contributed to you being the person that you are, and it's like they're not there anymore. So I don't even see how that could be something that you know, heal from. Like, I feel like you said, it's something where you're always gonna, like, constantly be reminded that they're no longer there, but you can still remember those positive, like, attributes that they instilled within you that contribute to who you are now.
Yeah, I mean, there's daily reminders, your mom's birthday, and then Mother's Day, and then the day your mom died, and then your mom's favorite song, and then other people's moms, other people's dead moms, moms on TV. It's just everywhere. It's really horrible, to be honest. And I wish I could be like, and you'll get better. You might not. And also, that's okay, by the way. It's okay to be sad. Nothing wrong with being sad.
That's real. Yeah. Definitely. And also it makes sense that you're a comedian because I don't know many people that would create a comedy show out of that. And like comedians are very dark. And that's what I noticed about all comedians. Like my favorite comedians, they're so cynical and it's like they literally get to the root of who we are as people, you know? And so I feel like that makes perfect sense that you would somehow make that, I guess, like something to share with others. Something that's like an art for you to share.
Who are some of your favorite comedians?
Oh, I would say Amanda Seales is my number one. I really like Chris Rock. I like Dave Chappelle. I know it's been a little controversial, but I do think like SNL.
Dave Chappelle?
Dave Chappelle.
No,
Dave Chappelle.
not
But
David Chappelle.
I do think he's a very fantastic.
Controversial.
He's a fantastic storyteller. So I would say, yeah, those are my top three. I love comedy. I watch all the stand-up specials and stuff on Netflix every time they come out. So, and even the new up and coming, like I love SNL. I watch that every week. And so I'm like, who are the new people coming on the cast and stuff?
Yeah, that's cool.
I did want to ask you, and it's okay if not, but have you developed or found any healthy coping strategies or way to protect your mental health since your mom passed? Because I know for me personally, when my grandpa passed, like my mom was just never the same. And I've seen firsthand how losing someone like that can impact the rest of your life if you're not able to heal and move on. So it seems like you're just trucking along. Is that just the inner strength you have, or?
Well, I don't know. Do I have healthy coping? I mean, I'm not a mental health specialist, so I don't know that I have the qualification to tell anyone what's healthy. But I know that for me, I really like to remember my mom and talk about her, even if it does make me feel sad. It's just okay to be sad about it, you know. That's why I did the comedy special. I talk about my mom. I mean, when she was alive, I talked about her like every day. And now that she's passed, I still talk about her like almost every day. Like my friends will tell you, I talk about my mom like literally almost every single day. And but it feels good to remember her. I don't want to forget my mom. If the trade-off is either like be sad and remember my mom, or not be sad and forget my mom, I'm gonna opt to be a little sad, or a lot of sad, for that matter.
Wow, I feel like that'll resonate with a lot of people. And remembering her, the memories might rock me a little bit, but I'd rather have those memories and be a little sad than just try to block it out and act like she never existed in my life. So I love that you're
plus side to having your mom pass away or someone you love pass away is the further you get from their death, they actually become better people.
Yeah,
because you forget the bad stuff.
Yeah, they become way better people. And also, my mother was really quite sick, so now all of my memories of my mom are like from when she was healthy, like when she was really fit and she had meat on her bones, when she was playing softball, watching her play basketball. Like those are like my mother was really sick and not well for years. For years, my mother was very sick. And that's how I saw my mom for a long time. But now I can't even picture her like that anymore. All I just picture is just how healthy she was when she was healthy. I really love that.
I love that that's what stuck with you, because I know sometimes it's easy for those last moments to consume you, but having those core memories where she was at her best, it makes you happy to reflect on those times.
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
I love that.
I've even replaced a lot of, even in my mind, I've visually replaced her when she wasn't healthy with how she looked. So like I have a memory from when she was sick. In my mind, she actually looks how she looked when she was healthy, if that makes any sense. Like I literally just replaced the image in my head. And that's probably my own brain doing its own coping mechanism without my consent. Yeah. But that's just, sometimes I'll look at a picture and I'll be like, oh, I forgot she was that sick. I completely forgot she was that sick. That's crazy.
Yeah, but that's amazing that you honor those positive memories of her and you can always recall the legacy and all that she did for you growing up and who she was despite the negative last end of her life. So yeah, that's great. And then, moving forward to the tail end of the interview, which it's wild that this has gone this fast. We've covered a lot. But in your book, I know we already kind of spoke to this about your connection to Black culture, that you kind of grew up already immersed in the Black community. So that wasn't something that was an awakening for you really once you moved. But you talked about how in your book, the quote was, "My mother always instilled in me the importance of our history, but somewhere along the way I stopped listening. I had a hard time accepting my Blackness because my Blackness had a hard time accepting me." And I was just wondering if you could share, with that quote in mind, what does Blackness mean to you?
Well, to be clear, I just want to be clear to people who don't know my book. It's not autobiographical.
Not autobiography, yes.
Yeah, this is not my story. That's actually not an experience that I had. My mother wasn't really into history.
Black code. Yeah, Black history.
Like
Yeah.
my mom wasn't like kente cloth and like black power my brother,
Yeah.
being power my brother. Like my mother wasn't that type. It was just like
Sure.
we were just black and it was what it was. So my mom wasn't like Queen Latifah in the early 90s with like the Nefertiti.
The Black Panther with the
Headdress,
fist
yeah.
and the rifle. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you wrote it, and so that's why I wanted to ask you, because you put it down. And so I guess like what does that symbolize for you as an author, for people reading
is
it?
a lot of stuff because
Yes.
you can't say blackness is, because blackness is not homogenous. Because the crazy thing is, blackness is Jay-Z, blackness is Erykah Badu, blackness is Barack Obama, blackness is Christian Walker, blackness is Candace Owens, blackness is MLK. I think the answer is blackness is everything. I mean, my best friend is Caribbean and from New York, and I'm American, and I mean she's American too, but she's of Caribbean descent. Obviously Africa by way of the Caribbeans, or Caribbeans by way of Africa. But our experiences are so different, but we are both black. Like we're both having a very black experience. They're just such different experiences, but they are still both black experiences. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So it would be practically impossible to say what blackness is. I mean, y'all are black. Like y'all are black. And we are having, I mean, how old are you, Tiana?
26.
And how old are you, Brad?
I'm 25. I just turned 25 last week.
Congratulations. Happy birthday. Happy belated birthday.
We made it.
I am a little older than y'all. I'm 39 years old. I graduated high school in 2004. I don't even know where you were in 2004. Like, what were you even doing?
I was 5 years old.
Yeah, and Brad was 4. You know what I mean?
There we go.
So, like, blackness is that. Blackness is my aunt who has a PhD in religious studies, but isn't a pastor. Blackness is my aunt's uncle who was a slave and couldn't read to her. And that's how she found out he was a slave. When her parents said, don't ask your uncle to read. He can't read. Why can't he read? Because he's a slave. You know what I mean? And I just find it so interesting that I get to create black experiences in this book, because although a lot of the people in my book are based on real characters, some of them are completely fictional. A few of them are, Buck is fictional, Odessa is fictional, Darnell is fictional, Slim is fictional. So the real truth is, like, when you think about Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz, Dorothy's not a girl. This is so esoteric. This might get too deep. Dorothy's not a girl. Dorothy's not a person. Dorothy is a thing. Dorothy's an it. Dorothy's an idea. But she represents girls, right? So Darnell's not actually black. Darnell's not a person. Darnell never existed. But Darnell is represented by blackness and queerness in this book. But when you allow yourself to personify him and humanize him, he is a black queer man. But the truth is, he's just words on a page. So I see a lot of myself in that.
This is meant to be a difficult question, so it stumps everyone.
This thing that I've created for Harriet Tubman, my mom's in there. So it means a lot to me that I'm able to create these ideas and that they mean something to people, and it's enough for me that that it's okay if it only matters for now. It doesn't have to matter forever, and it doesn't have to last. It mattered if it meant something to someone in a moment. Then in that moment, it mattered.
Exactly. And thank you so much for being vulnerable and sharing that. And I don't know your, personal beliefs, but I like to think that there's something after this. And so I would like to say and think that I think if your mom is out there in spirit, you're making her proud. It probably doesn't do much, but At least for
Yeah,
me,
I mean, I don't believe she's out there, but but I do know that she was when she was here, she was proud. I know that for a fact, and that's enough for me. She doesn't. It doesn't have to go on forever. She doesn't have to be proud until I die. She doesn't have to be proud forever and ever, ever. I know for a fact that when she was here, she was proud because she told me. So maybe, you know, what you believe in or what you feel. If you feel positive about someone, tell them now so they know. So they don't have to
I love that. Yeah.
create feelings for you when you die. Just tell them now.
Let people know how you feel about them. Yeah. Express the
Billy
compassion
Joel
and
has a
care.
song called "Tell Her About It." It's a beautiful song. No
Okay.
skip album. Uptown Girl, Billy Joel, not a single skip on that fucking album. Tell
I
Her
love
About
it.
It is a song where he's like, if you love this girl, just tell her. Don't play games. Just tell her about it. Just tell her you love her. Just say, girl, I am really into you. Woo, you are great. That's how I navigate all of my friendships, all of my romantic relationships. My friends will tell you, I tell them how I feel about them in the moment, good, bad, and indifferent. My friends know I love them because I tell them all the time. They know when I'm proud of them because I tell them all the time. They know when they just know. I'm not a mysterious person.
That is so
That's-
important.
Yeah.
I love that, and I feel like that speaks to the importance of being present because I like to think the past does not exist. All there is here and now. All there is here and now. So you got to appreciate what's in front of you because it can change any moment. Someone could be here one day, gone the next, and so that's something that I feel like everyone should work on. I'm working on is staying present. When you live in the past and think about your trauma all the time, you're not living. You're back there where it was, or if you're too focused on the future, you're not here. You're worried about things that haven't happened yet or may never happen. And so I love that you had that mindset of I'm gonna speak what I feel in the moment, right here, right now. I'm gonna say what I gotta say, how I feel right now.
As they say in Kung Fu Panda, right now is a gift. That's why it's called the present.
Wow. No, that's deep. You've been
Hey,
dropping
I
a
did-
lot of gems. You're dropping a lot of gems
it came
and
from
and
Kung Fu
references.
Panda.
No, and the thing is, I gotta rewatch some of these kids' movies because there's a lot of hidden life lessons in there that we skip over. But now it's as an adult, I'll watch in a whole other lens. So that's great. And I also love, like, even in your answer, it was just so beautiful how you tied that into not only your personal experience, but like how your book, even though is fictional and there's aspects of obviously history in there that are tied in, it still speaks to like the archetype of the ways blackness shows up. Like you said, there's no one way. Like Black is everything. Black is who we show up to be every single day. It's how we cultivate it. It's how we exist. It's how, we embrace it. And so, yeah, I love how you worded that. It's great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Very kind of you. I appreciate your kind words, Tiana. Am I saying your name right, Tiana?
Tiana, yes.
Tiana. Gang, gang.
It's like the movie Princess and the Frog,
There it is.
if you've seen it. Yeah.
And it's pronounced Brad. No, I'm kidding.
Yes. Tiana, we gotta find you a frog here soon. We gonna find you a frog.
Maybe after it transforms into a Naveen. Not as the frog.
You need him to be already fixed up. You ain't willing to take on a fix up.
I'm not
That's
waiting.
crazy.
I'm not
That's
fixing
the
up.
problem with females today. Y'all don't want to
That's
invest.
crazy.
That's the
You
problem.
gonna be no
Bobbitt's
pick
turning.
Misha.
Oh, well,
Oh,
kidding.
no pick Mishas. No pick Mishas. You don't need to
And the
fix them
interview
up.
turned left. The interview turned left fast.
No, to be clear, that was a bit. I don't actually call women.
No,
people.
that's so funny. That's so funny.
We did want to ask you before we head out. I know, thank you so much for going over time with us. Do you have a piece of career advice for young professionals or young queer people who aspire to be in a place like you one day when they're dreaming big?
I'm really bad at giving inspiration to people like on demand because I like this might not work. Like I am very. I always say I'm not religious, but I always say if there is a God, I am her favorite. Like my life has been so. I have done life on easy mode. I happened to be 22 when I moved to New York City. Drag Race came out less than a year after I moved there. I got into drag. I rose to the top of the New York City drag scene. I fucking got on Drag Race when I was 29 years old. I was on TV. I'm not someone to be like, I pulled myself up by the bootstraps. I have had a lot of luck, Like success for a lot of people is just where luck meets opportunity, you know? And what I will say is this though, you have an opportunity to define what success is for yourself. And I would really encourage people to use their own parameters for success and not try to use someone else's. It is, you can be successful today. You just have to decide that you are successful today. And you know, when I was in New York City, I just wanted to have fun, make art, and have a few people see me perform. That's all I wanted. And that's what I still want today, including helping them with other people, like helping other people achieve that same goal. But I think that if you're doing it for the purpose of like, if you're making your art so that people will like it, it'll probably be really hard to sustain that. But if you're making it because you just like doing it, you know, there were times in New York City where I would perform in a bar. There were more people working in the bar than there were patronizing it. Like literally. I remember one time performing for 2 people and one of them was asleep.
Hey, but that one person really cared because they watched that whole performance.
I mean, at that point I was performing for the fucking DJ. Like I was just making him laugh. You know what I mean? I was like, I'm just having fun. You know? So the difference between me performing for one person while one being asleep and then literally within 12 years performing 20 blocks down the street at Madison Square Garden for 18,000 people who are all paying attention. But both those shows felt really important to me. Like people who know me know that I give it my all at every show. And it's because I really want to be doing it. I really love doing this. I really love entertaining. I love making people laugh. I love that if you're having a bad day, you can just come and you can laugh with me. You can just laugh in this moment and forget that your day was bad for just an hour. Maybe you'll forget for 2 or 3 hours. You'll still be laughing, thinking about what you did and what I said and how much fun we had. I love to be a bit of reprise for people.
That's amazing.
That. And you know what I think
and
that
I meant
means?
reprieve. I want to be clear.
That's okay. We know what you meant.
I know that I said reprieve. One of these little bitches in the comments, like, he thought it was
no,
reprieve.
Exactly. And you're right.
I misspoke. I meant reprieve.
No, and we'll cut it out. So you never even had a bobble. No. Okay, we'll be real. We'll keep it in.
Keep it real.
Clock it. And I was gonna say, you know,
calling these bitches out. So untype your sentence, bitch.
So they know.
Yeah, take your keys.
There you
crunchy ass, ashy ass, gnarled fingers off the keyboard, bitch.
Oh, there you have it.
Exactly. And you know what I think? All that you just spoke to, I think the sum of it is you didn't love your job. You jobbed your love. And that's why everything worked in your favor.
Brad, that was great. You ate that.
And you didn't find your passion. You passioned your I love it. And also I think it's so cool to hear how, like, even when you were performing for the audience of one and the other person's asleep, it's like you still had joy in that. And I think that's what really matters, because it seems like you're a joyful person. Like, you've been able to find that for yourself and you've kept it going regardless of those bobbles that you've hit in life and the turbulence and things. But it seems like you've always kept that, like, steady force in your life, if that inspiration and the joy there. So that's great.
Yeah, I just want to have fun.
Yeah. Okay, I wanted to ask a fun question to end this off, and it is very quick. And I know that, as RuPaul's Drag Race went on, the winners started getting pretty big prize funds as they started to keep showing the show for seasons and seasons. But I wanted to ask you, what was your first purchase with your prize money after your win?
Well, I wish I could answer that question directly, but the truth
can we not say that out publicly?
No, I can say it, but
okay.
It's not that linear. By the way, I know you said it's a fun question. Just so you know, Tiana, I can take the fun out of anything.
Oh. That's okay.
Honey, I can take the sweetness out of a cherry. Just give me the opportunity, honey. I won Drag Race, and then I bought a lot of things, but then I didn't get paid until like 6 months after I won. So I don't know. I think the first thing that I actually bought after I deposited my check, I mean, there was a CVS across the street. It was probably a bag of Flamin' Hot Cheetos. Probably.
You didn't go wild. Not a designer bag. It was just a snack.
But I can tell you the best thing I bought since I was on RuPaul's Drag Race was I bought my mom a house.
Okay, that's pretty huge.
It was
Exactly.
and it definitely cost more than $100,000.
That's
but
amazing.
I did buy my mom a house, and that's probably the best thing I've ever purchased in my life.
That is
Generous
such a big
queen.
accomplishment. I don't even have my own house. So, that's fabulous.
Well,
you bought a house for someone else.
Have a son and get him on Drag Race. He'll buy you one.
Oh, there we go.
That's what my mom did.
Hey, it worked. She knew what she was doing.
All you do is have a son, indoctrinate him into the LGBT community like the rest of us are doing,
There you go.
and then force him into drag
Because it's an agenda. No.
They think we're forcing drag on the kids.
Yeah.
And then make sure he's good, and then get him
Yeah.
on season 97 of RuPaul's Drag Race.
There we go.
There it is.
Exactly.
What a plan.
Honestly, you better push that gay agenda forward now. Come on. We taking over. They better be scared.
Listen,
What did
we
Candace
have
Owens say?
every color in the rainbow, and now we're coming after every letter in the alphabet. Okay, we're getting it
Exactly.
all, honey.
Brr, Alphabet Mafia. We
There it
here.
is.
What did Candace Owens say? If you want to make it in this world, you got to be fake and gay. So
Fake and gay.
I'll be that.
Fake and gay.
Did she say that? She said that?
fake and
Yes,
gay. It's all a little
everything is fake and gay.
It's a little fake and gay.
I don't keep tabs on what she says much.
In her
So.
defense, I am a little fake and gay.
Hey, and it's worked for you.
You know what? I have a theory. I'm gonna put this out there. You know how people always talk about how men who are like overly homophobic probably have a little attraction deep down in there. I feel like Candace Owens is closeted. I feel like she has a little a girl attraction, or maybe she loves talking about trans people. Maybe she likes trans men. I don't know. I think there's something going down in there. My spidey senses, I feel it. So she loves us. Low key.
So, to be continued. Candace Owens, everyone tag Candace Owens in the comments. Candace Owens, if you want to come out, please feel free.
Oh,
Come
wow.
out. You can come onto this amazing podcast. They will invite you on right now. You can come out here. You want to be
And speak
fake?
your truth?
You want to
No.
be gay? Do you want to make it? You're the one who said it. If you want to make it, we don't normally recruit, but I will send some paperwork your way. We have some great literature that you would love to read.
You heard it straight from Bob.
Candace, you heard it. You know, if I'm faking gay, you're faking straight. So clock it.
Is there anyone else you would like me to invite to join your podcast?
We're open to anyone. Any nominations at any
Surprise
time.
us.
Yeah, surprise us.
When you
invite-
talked about, sorry.
I was gonna say, I don't know. I have no one else crazy to invite to your podcast.
That's okay. They don't have to be crazy. You're not crazy.
I didn't say I wasn't crazy, but I didn't say I was sane. You know,
There we go.
I'm doing fine. Is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Well, I will say, Bob, I'm just so grateful that you were here. When you were talking about defining success and what that means for you, I feel like you being on here and just, looking up to you and everything you've done, this was a major success moment for me, just to be able to share a space with you and have you here. Something I've been looking forward to a lot. Like I said, I've been trying to snag you since June, and I was like, oh my gosh, is it going to happen? Is it not? And I was stressing, but the time has come, and thank you so much for giving your time and just being so generous with it. Because, when you're starting something new, a lot of people think they're bigger than the program. They don't want to come on because they don't think, you've made it or you're worthy of their time. And so, like, the fact that you are humble and saw the value in what we're doing, uplifting Black stories, and decided to give your time means a lot. So seriously, from the bottom of my heart, thank you.
Again, I said it matters while it matters, and that's enough. That's important enough. So
Yeah.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you all for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much. And we look forward to staying in touch with you and bringing you into our community. We've continued to grow this for the last 2 years. And so we don't intend on stopping anytime soon. So in all seriousness, if you do have people that you think would lend some advice to our audience, please feel free to submit. But otherwise, we'll be in touch when this airs. It will be airing very soon, like this week. So yeah,
Friday.
stay on the lookout. Yeah.
All right, bye, everyone.
All right. Thank you. Have a good night. Bye.
Thank you. We deeply appreciate your support as we work to uplift the Black community and explore our unique experiences within the Black diaspora on Identity Unboxed.
Authenticity is your guide to cast an impact on the world that you will be proud of. Signing off with pride, Tiana.
And Brad.
Thank you so much.